Hi everyone, today we are going to set up a new AI-powered chat agent on the Cloudflare Workers platform. We can do either set it up locally on our computer and then deploy it later, or we can just directly install it on the Cloudflare server. We prefer the second method because it is more convenient for working in a group and using a GitHub. So let's log in to the Cloudflare dashboard. I'm logging using a GitHub account. So after the dashboard show up, let's click create application. And then let's choose the import a repository, get started. And then click the clone a public repository via get URL. It's from the Cloudflare agents starter. Just copy and paste the address here, click continue. So we're using a GitHub account because any updates pushed to this GitHub will be automatically deployed to the Cloudflare server. Let's give it a name, cat chat. By default, the application uses OpenAI GPT-4o model. So let's provide the OpenAI key here. And then let's just click create and deploy. It will take a few minutes, and after finish, we can access the application on their server. Let's wait for a while. Okay, it's done. Let's click the visit. Okay, here's the application on the Cloudflare server, the AI chat agent. It can accept quick conversation about weather and local time. Let's try what is the weather tomorrow in New York City. Nothing, just empty response from the agent. Let's try the second time. What is the time in Chicago now? Okay, that's weird. Again, it's empty response. Seems like the application encountered a problem with OpenAI GPT-4o. Let's try to modify the chat to use Workers AI provider instead. So the GitHub page also provide the guideline to change the AI model. We're gonna use the Workers AI provider from Cloudflare instead. Okay, let's open the server.ts. It's a TypeScript application. Okay, let's start copy and paste all those codes into this server.ts. We're using the DeepSeek model. Okay, commit change directly to the main branch. And then after committing the change, the Cloudflare will start building the project again. So we can see the progress here. Let's click on the progress page. Oh, it failed. So the error message is like the env is not defined. So again, this is weird that the guideline is not working. So after tinkering for a while, we figure out how to make it run. Let me just copy and paste the final code here. Let's just commit the change again. Still in progress. Let's click the progress. It's still building. So while waiting for the build to finish, let us explain what we did here. We created a new function called getModel. It's a lazy getter that allowed the model to be defined first and assigned later. So it works with the workflow. So let's back to the dashboard. Okay, the build is now finished. Let's try to visit the app again. Now let's ask what is the weather tomorrow in the New York City, the same question. And voila, it's now working. Okay, the assignment asks us to explain the wrangler.toml file, but it turns out the agent starter template uses wrangler.jsonc configuration file instead. Here's a breakdown of each entry in the file. The first one is SEMA. It points to the JSON schema file that provides auto-completion and validation in our IDE. We can find it in our local project directory when we install Wrangler as a dependency. It's under node modules, Wrangler, and we can find it config schema.json. It provides intelligent autocomplete and validation in our IDE, such as VS Code, and etc. And we also get inline documentation tooltips for each field, and this helps catch configuration error before deployment. Next, we have name. This is the unique identifier for our worker project name across Cloudflare's ecosystem. We can see it on the Cloudflare dashboard to identify this specific worker, which is cap-chat. It determines our default subdomains, which is cap-chat.prabawa.workers.dev. And it is used as the identifier when we run commands like Wrangler deploy, Wrangler tail, and etc. Next, we have main. It specifies the entry point for our worker code. This file must export a default object with a fetch handler or implement the service worker API. It can be TypeScript or JavaScript file. And here we have a TypeScript file. We can find it under folder src/server.ts, and this is the TypeScript file that contains our worker's main logic and request handler. Next, we have compatibility date. So this date tells Cloudflare use the runtime behavior as it existed on August 3, 2025. So our worker is protected from breaking changes made after this date. And we can update this date when we are ready to test and adopt newer features. Next, we have compatibility flags. This enables specific runtime features or compatibility layers for Node.js, so the NPM packages can normally work in the worker's runtime. Next, we have AI. It configures Cloudflare workers AI binding. So binding AI means it creates a variable named AI available in our workers environment. We can access it via env.ai in our fetch handler. And this binding provides access to Cloudflare's AI models. Remote true means it uses Cloudflare's remote inference servers, so the models run on Cloudflare's infrastructure, not in our worker. So requests are sent to Cloudflare's AI service, which processes them and returns result. This is the standard mode, because local AI execution is not available for workers. Next, we have assets. It specifies the folder containing static assets, such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript files, and images. So here we set the directory name public. Files in this directory are automatically served when requested, and Cloudflare catches these assets on their edge network. Next, we have durable objects. So we can see the durable objects on our dashboard here. They are stateful, single-threaded objects that live on Cloudflare's edge. It provides strong consistency, and it's perfect for real-time collaboration, such as this chat application. So by naming it chat, so the binding name we use, it's the binding names we use in our worker code, and we can access it via env.chat in our fetch handler. Class name chat, it is the exported class name from our worker script. It must match the class we export from our main file, which is the server.ts file. Migrations. It defines a schema migration that is required when using SQLite storage in our durable objects. It ensures all existing objects are properly migrated when we deploy changes. So tag v1 is the version identifier for this migration. And new SQLite classes chat declares that the chat is the durable object class that using the SQLite storage. So this is the initial migration that creates the SQLite capability. That's all. Thank you for watching.